Hi, I'm Aaron Blank, President and CEO of the Fearey Group here at Life Science Innovation Northwest. It's the 15th annual conference hosted by the Washington Biotechnology and Biomedical Association. I'm here right now with Alexis Holzer, who's the Assistant Director for Economic Development at Washington State University. Alexis, how are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
Good. So Life Science Innovation Northwest, you've been a co-chair of the Life Science Conference this year. Thank you for all you've done to put this on. Is that why you have a ginormous booth, or is it the takeover of just what you guys are up to these days?
Yeah, well, I guess the booth, we saw an opportunity to grow what we did last year, and the Research Pavilion gives a really nice venue to do that. So we've been growing our presence at this conference for the last 3 years. 4 years ago I came here, we had literally no presence, just a few people attending, and saw this great opportunity to engage with this economic sector for our state and showcase everything WSU has to offer. So we've slowly been growing our presence with the WSU Spokane Campus growing in medical sciences, everything in vet med coming out and biotech and all that. We just saw an opportunity to keep growing that. So you see what we have this year. It's an enormous booth. It is 30 feet long, and it showcases what we've done over 125 years.
So for folks watching online, this booth has the WSU, or it's 125, right? The numbers 125 that are as large as I would say a flatbed truck. Each number. Did you guys have to bring that in a flatbed truck, or they come apart?
Yeah, it was a moving truck.
Okay.
Yeah, it took a lot of effort to get all that together, but you might have seen it in the commercials that have been running for the WSU 125, and we're like, why is this sitting in storage? We need to bring this out, and it'll be touring the state later this year, but LSIW was the perfect venue to give it this big kickoff and the send-off in that way.
So the WBBA, the Washington Biotechnology Biomedical Association, life science industry, how important is this association to WSU?
It's growing considerably for us in importance because we do have so much growing in medical sciences and life science, pharmacy, nursing, just not at our Spokane campus, but we have people here from Vancouver, Spokane, as well as Pullman. And so we're trying to pull all these people together and show in one way how we're all affecting this life sciences industry.
So your title is Assistant Director for Economic Development. What does that mean?
I get that question all the time. You know, an economic development is one thing when you're talking about maybe an economic development council in Seattle or another county, King County in the state, but university economic development is a little bit different. So we really work to be here in Seattle, be at the table with WBBA and our other business associations to talk about what WSU is doing, but also create a venue like you see here to showcase what we're doing as well. So we work to network on behalf of people who can't be here in Seattle where all of this exciting industry development is happening. We work to engage with our stakeholders through our memberships of associations and big events like this, and then that's all really in an effort to help grow investment at the university, but also with companies that we spin out and companies that we partner with, and ultimately help Washington be more prosperous in our economy.
Alexis, tell me a little bit about the campus in Spokane, and maybe more about the medical school that you guys are in the process of expanding, or talks about it.
Yeah, I wish that the legislature maybe convened a little bit early so we could talk a little bit more concretely about this, but we have approved this medical school to be developed in Spokane, and our Chancellor Lisa Brown will be talking about that more tomorrow at one of the breakout sessions. But we have our entire School of Pharmacy there, our School of Nursing, our new College of Medical Sciences, and we're just growing in partnership with all of the hospitals that are already there, and then trying to expand that with the new medical school across the state to where people don't have a lot of access to medical care, you know, that general practitioner, but also the specialty. And then another thing that we really have done well for many, many years in Spokane is drug addiction and mental health research. So we have one of the top researchers in the nation, Dr. John Roll, who does research in that area, and that really affects a lot of people in Washington, where if you're living in an area where you don't have access to that specialized care, we really need to work to expand that access across the state, and they've really been doing a lot of that in Spokane.
So sadly, Elson Floyd, the president of WSU, passed away just last week at 59 years old from bladder cancer. What's the mood around the WSU community right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so he died of colon cancer. I mean, we're devastated. It's really hard to put into words. And really, it's overwhelming how the community has responded to this, not just in Pullman and not just in Seattle, but statewide and nationwide. I mean, he was truly a leader in higher education and in this new land grant university mission, where it's not just about extending agriculture, research, and education, but it's really about engaging with all stakeholders in your state and, putting out education and research to everybody who needs it. And he really embodied that mission, and we just need to keep moving that forward. And I think that this display that we have is sort of resemblance of his presence in the state and for Washington State, and how we really have made a name for ourselves now through his leadership.
So forget biotech and life science. What about football? How are the Cougars going to do this year?
That's a really hard question to answer, especially for me. Yeah, we're going to do great, Aaron.
Yeah, okay. Alexis, one last question. I heard you went to the University of Puget Sound. How is it to work for WSU? And do you show up to UW football games on the weekend?
Oh, I do not go to football games on the weekend. I'm sorry. I'm a huge Seahawks fan, so I got that going. But yeah, I went to a small liberal arts college, and I really didn't understand what a large research university does, not just for its students, but the economy in general. So I started at WSU in 2008, and it just completely opened my eyes to what research can do for people, for businesses, how we all work together towards one mission, and how a land grant university can partake in that. It's great to have that small liberal arts education, and then now have this great opportunity to learn about what a huge research university does. It's really exciting. I love my job.
Alexis Holzer, who's the Assistant Director for Economic Development at WSU. Alexis, would you go ahead and, after this, maybe tweet a picture online at the WSU just WSU, the size, just show your booth so that people at home watching or online can.
I'll stand next to it. I'm pretty small, but I think you'll get the idea for how big it is. Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks.